Hello, Alex the RC Freak here, coming at you with another video of the Losi Dbxl-E electric version. So, like I said, I'm going to be changing out the electronics. Here's the steering servo, aluminum steering servo horn. The steering link, plastic. It's kind of a thicker plastic, but I mean, it feels pretty strong, but it's not the best. So, you can custom make a link that will work for this, so just saying. Let me show you something here. But anyway, I'm getting rid of this. I'm going to be cutting off this plastic piece, completely cutting it off. So, and shaving it all the way down smooth. So you still have this mount, these 4 holes, you still have these 4 holes to hold your servo, but that is it. I'm going to change it out with Traxxas part number 3628. It's the Stampede 4x4 receiver box set. So this is for the Stampede 4x4. This is the box. I drilled 2 holes in it, right there and right there already. I'm going to put 3mm screw here, 3mm screw there, and a lock nut, 3mm lock nut on the inside. And that's what I'm going to do. So anyway, this is the receiver box. What I like about this though is you don't have to drill holes. You can double side tape this to the chassis, and then it would work. So you don't need to double side. You don't need to drill holes. But I like to drill holes because the double side tape can break away over time, and your receiver box will be flopping around. And who knows? You can damage your receiver. So if you bolt it down and you make the bolt hole tight to the 3mm threads, you should be fine. Honestly, they would be so tight around there you wouldn't be able to get water in there if you want to run in water. And this will actually be watertight versus the other one. So anywho, I already pre-drilled it. What you'll have to do with the kit is there's the original receiver box. I'm going to cut this off. I'll pause it, cut it off, and I won't even have this on there. This will be completely removed, chopped off. Now what you need to remove that is this. You'll need a Dremel tool, and you'll need a cutoff wheel. You'll need something like that, like this. This little Dremel cutoff wheel, enforced. I suggest, see how it has that webbing on the back there? See that webbing? I strongly suggest you get one like that. Make sure it's a new blade. This is a fairly new blade. It's very minimal use. But yeah. So anyway, you'll need to cut right here on the side. You need to cut all the way down. And then you'll go over to this side. And you'll need to cut across and down. Like that. And have it on a variable speed Dremel is the best. Just saying. For the record. So, and also, you will need, because if you notice, this isn't like the 10-scale-E Revo brushless edition, which you could use that receiver box also. That's a good receiver box. This does not have an antenna mount thing for it. So, I just recently found out about these. I love them. This is the vattera VTR 23113 antenna mount set, or antenna mount set, and it comes with a little grub screw, this little plastic mount piece, and the antenna tube with antenna tube cap. And these are black, so they keep the factory look. They look very nice. You can double side tape this mount on. You can double side tape it. Just trying to get you better. Sorry about that. You can double side tape that to the plastic piece or metal aluminum surface, whatever you want. Or you can drill a hole and bolt it, which I may do. I haven't made up my mind yet. But yeah, that little plastic piece you can mount it, which is nice. It has that flat tab. But anyway, here's the truck. So here's what I did. I drilled 2 holes right there and there. This is for your lights, which is not necessary. You don't need this. If you want to remove the lights completely, you can. You have the option to do so if you're worried about it getting broken. This is the Esc Wiring Plug. Pretty nice. But yeah, see, these are where the bolt holes are for the factory thing. I'm going to have it completely, when the receiver box is in, it's going to be in like this. It's going to sit like that. And then, sorry about this, I'm doing this one-handed, so please bear with me. But there's going to be the receiver box. That's what it's going to look like. Now it's going to say Traxxas on it, and you get some Traxxas haters out there. I think Traxxas makes really good products. They just need a little bit of tweaking. Losi is a very good company too, so I'm not bashing Losi with their receiver box. I'm just saying, if you say vehicle's waterproof, waterproof it. For real. All I'm going to say. Especially nowadays with electronics. Now let me show you something. Okay, so let me show you something. This is what came out of the receiver box. Let me see if I can get you. There you go. A better picture. This is the factory receiver for the Dbxle. It's a factory receiver. That's what it is. So it's a SRS 6000. So it's a base model AVC receiver. It's not the fancy one. So the 4210 SR 4210 is a fancy one. Now here is a perfect example. See that play? I'm going to try to suck that play up. So I still got to mess around with this front end and back end. I know the tires are off of it, but these screws were loose on the bottom. So I haven't had a chance to tighten them up yet, but on the bottom ones of these steering knuckles, they were loose, and I had tightened one of them up on one side. But yeah, so that's just another thing. I'm going to put washers, 4mm washers right there, and we're rebuilding these shocks. So I just wanted to do a quick video, kind of what I'm doing at the moment. I'm going to cut this receiver box up, or not this one, obviously not this one, but I'm going to cut the factory one, and then I'll get back with you. So please bear with me, and I apologize for it. This is just kind of getting done one-handed here, so it's not going to be the prettiest video, but at least it'll be informal for anyone who may or may not want to do this. So just saying. And another thing to note, these little tabs right here, there's one on each side of this brace, this center diff brace. Make sure that that wire, this wire right here, is in that little tab. But yeah, let me cut this real quick, my Dremel tool, and I'll get right back to you. Alright, sorry for that cut, but this is the parts chopped off. Just get you close up here. It's cut off. It's chopped off, nice and clean. I end up using my number 2 X-Acto blade. I love the number 2 X-Acto blade size. A really nice size. But anyway, this is cut off. You could still use it for something else. This is this. Cut off. I took off the servo just to make sure I didn't cut it accidentally, but I just ran my X-Acto knife blade down the side of this, like that. And always cut away from yourself. Good idea to wear safety goggles, because if you fling a little plastic piece in your eye, anytime you use any sharp bladed tool, you know, Dremel tool, anything like that, you always want to put on your safety goggles just so anyone knows. Extremely good idea. I always do. So, anywho, I did this. There's a little spacer that goes right here. Goes just like that. This goes in here like so. Stick this in there like just like that. Stick this, pull this wire down. Stick it down just like that. And it's in. And this is, ooh, whoops. I just dropped right out of my hand there. You know, what's the show if you can't have freaking an accident once in a while? Sorry about that. But yeah, this is an aluminum case, black aluminum. I like the black aluminum thing they have going on here. But anyway, yeah, so this is what it is when it's bolted together, and it's 4 bolts holding this on still. It's still really strong. I like that. And you know, this plastic is really good quality, strong plastic. It really is. It's very strong plastic. I have to say that for Losi. But yeah, it's really nice. So, anyway, I just wanted to show you that. And then I'll let you know when I get the 4 bolts. It's 2.5 millimeter driver, I strongly suggest if you have any RC, even one RC vehicle or your very first time, I strongly suggest that you get this Team Integi 2.5 millimeter, or it's an Allen wrench set. Very, very good to have this wrench set. I love Entity's wrench set. It's an amazing wrench set, works great. Anyway, and these tips last very, very long. So just saying, I'll get back with you after I'm done installing this into the vehicle. It's 4 screws. And I'll see you then. Alright, so let me just pause it. Alright. Alright, hello everyone. Alex RC Freak here, coming at you with another video. Basically the same video, just trying to get you all in the frame here. If the camera would cooperate. There we go. Okay. So everyone see these 2 holes right here? Right there. And I got 2 holes right here. This is the Stampede 4x4 receiver box. I'm going to use the factory screws that came in there with the receiver box to put it on. Now, what I don't like is these are a socket head style. They're a socket head style. So, if I can get you. Yeah, so anyway, they're 5/64 or 2 millimeter socket, but they'll stick out. See how this is nice and smooth and flush? They're going to stick out a little bit down, which I don't really like, but at the moment I do not have any cap or button head style screws, so I guess I'm kind of, you know, SOL at the moment. But yeah, anyway, we'll keep on going here. It doesn't really, it's not the end of the world, you know. So what we'll do is we'll screw these in. Get a plastic. Screw in nicely. Try to get them as straight as you can. Now start this by hand. There's no need to use a power tool on this because it's just, you don't need to. It'd be unnecessary at this point. And then also on those screws I just screwed in, I'm going to be using 2 lock nut right there. So they have nylon on the top, so they lock it in. So that way I'll never have to worry about stuff getting loose. So now I'm going to try to do this while it's on. So those are started just a little bit. I apologize if I'm in the way here. Just try to align that just a little bit. Okay. Now these are really tight, these plastic threads, so let's see if it's, sorry about me being in the light here. Okay, so just get them tight. I'd like to put some socket head on there, or maybe some tapered screws. Now, if you look inside, it's bolted. Bolted together. 2 screws there. So, those don't look to be long enough, so I may have to find some other screws or bolts. So, give me just a minute. Alright, I'm sure you can see it. I got a lock nut there and a lock nut there, and I put a small strip of automotive on the underside of this receiver box of automotive double-sided tape, so it's really, really, really sticky. And then I also sprayed it with a touch of Lord Diffuser is the brand. It's adhesion promoter, so it only is made for bare plastic and double-sided stick tape, but it's an adhesion promoter, so it helps adhere this to this plastic piece here, so it really sticks really well. But like I say, you know, if you have a bad enough crash, if you just double-sided tape this on and it fell off, you could risk damaging your electronics, ripping out your connector here, your steering servo, you know, all kinds of stuff. So that's why I put the double nuts on there and the double-sided tape. Best of both worlds. So anyway, let me kind of show you here. Sorry about that. I know it's kind of a mess. Anytime you do any mods, it's never a super pretty sight. Anyway, so I put on this receiver wire here, I put it through, as you can see, the bottom. I wrapped it through right underneath here, through the bottom. Let's see if I can get a closer view for you. But yeah, see how I did that? I just wrapped it through underneath here because there's enough gap. If you can see, there's enough gap underneath here. See that gap right underneath there? You stick the wire in it through there, and then you stick it through the top of the receiver box, like so. And then bam, just like that. And then it looks clean. It's nice and short. It's not long. You know, you can do these wires nice and clean. You do this ESC wire nice and clean. You know, you got it long enough to, you know, it's perfect. So, anyway, you got this here. This is your receiver. And then also, on my receiver, I get some Velcro right there. Velcro. I don't know if you see it. Velcro. So, but I would just stick some Velcro on there, a little square piece. It doesn't matter how you cut it. You can cut it full length of the receiver. So that way when you stick it down, because this has a gyro in it, when you stick it down, it'll help know where the wheels are and help you with active vehicle control, which this receiver is enabled with the gyro built in. But what's nice about the Velcro is you can take the receiver out if you need to unplug it for wiring, or you can put it back in. So whatever you like to do. That's why I like to do it that way. So that should fit like that. Alright, so basically what you're going to want to do is you got a few rubber or foam gaskets right here. You got a few foam gaskets. So you got this big one and you got this small one here. Now let me show you where the small one goes. If you grab your top of your receiver box like this small one will go right in there, just like that. Bam, just like that. And it'll sit right in there nice, so that way when the wire is squished down, it'll seal nice and tight. Let me stick that one on right now, actually, as a matter of fact. Oops, just dropping everything there. Now, in the receiver box, it comes with some grease, some electric grease, a dielectric grease, and you want to just put a little bit on this foam. So when you close this cap, and you want to put a little on this cap too. So, yeah, and this foam chunk, actually, by the way, goes on this cap. Speaking about it, so you just want to rip off this paper backing because it has tape on the back. I want to rip that off. And adhere it to this. So what you do is you just take it, stick it in there with the corner end first, kind of squish it in like that, and just squish it down. You know, make sure it's nice and squished in there. You know, on the corners really well. So you know, this is your RC. You don't want shit and water and shit getting in there. So anyway, squish it on down. Bam. Just like that. That looks nice. And see, you can feel it sealing. It has a little bit of preload there. Like, see if I can get my fat hands out of the way. See that preload? Yeah, so anyway, when you tighten it down with those screws, it'll really help seal it nice, and it gives it a nice little cushion for the wires too also. And in that package, it'll also come with another foam thing for your receiver. Now you can cut this to fit whatever receiver you want. This is double-sided tape foam, so it sticks right in there. The only thing I do not like about this is that if you need to ever take out your receiver for any servicing, cleaning, whatever you want to do, you take it out, you have to recut another piece, which some people don't mind. I like the Velcro. It always works good. But you can keep that piece if you use Velcro for something else. You never know what you could use it for. But anyway, and then on a side note, I just thought I'd mention, if you get an RC, some of them come with this T-handle, or this cross style 4-way wrench. So anyway, you could take this end right here, the smaller end here, and you use it to tighten those nuts, and it works really well. I like it because it has, this area is not as thick as my other one, which, see how thick that diameter is? So yeah, it works. But yeah, so basically now all we gotta do is mount this antenna wire. So basically, you can double-side tape this. It comes with an antenna too, which I think is kind of cool. You can do what you want with it. Some people, want to mount it somewhere else. Some people want to mount it across the rig, whatever. But, you also got to think your antenna tube nowadays ain't that big. So you can't just stick it anywhere. Now, there's a little grub screw you don't want to lose. There's the grub screw. You do not want to lose this. It kind of rolls away. So what I like to do, so you don't lose it, is take your 1.5 millimeter wrench, stick it in there like that, stick it on the thing, and then take this, just for right now, very loosely stick it in there, just very loosely. Start the threads, and try to start in there straight. There you go. So just a couple threads is all you need. So that way, the grub screw is right there, you won't lose it. If your RC area is organized. Now, some people's RC area is a giant mess, so just try to keep it organized. But yeah, so that's what I'm going to do for right now. And this is the antenna tube it comes with, really nice. And you also want to make sure this is your gasket for the receiver box, the base of the receiver box. It slides in the screw right along here. So that's where it goes. And you just kind of, what I like to do, see how it's kind of a little deformed right in this area, is kind of a little bit dips down a little bit right there. Well, I like to just let it sit out and kind of get some natural heat or whatever and stability, and then it will kind of reshape itself. That's what I like to do. Okay, so how I'm going to do this is what I may do is just basically find a spot that you like, that works for you, that you can bolt and unbolt this. So somewhere where it's out of the way. So I'll probably do it right behind here, right up against the receiver box like that, in the corner right here. And I'll just drill a hole straight down, put another screw through there, a cap head style screw, and call it a day. Because that way it'll be bolted down. You can double side tape it down too if you don't want to drill any more holes. And I'm sure it'll hold, it's just an antenna mount. And you can cut this antenna mount wherever you want, shorter or smaller, whatever you'd like to do. But I think bolting it down would probably be the best bet. But I'm not going to bore you guys with the wiring of this, putting in this receiver box. wiring, because I'll just do that on my own time, because it can take sometimes a couple minutes to do so. But this basically goes in your number 2 or channel 2 port. So you know what, actually let me just show you guys here. This can go into any port, doesn't matter. This is for your lights, doesn't matter. This is your steering servo, obviously, which is channel 1. So channel 1. You want to make sure you get the polarities correct. So you just take it, stick it in there, so it's fully seated in the receiver. Now you grab your, Esc and do that, but you want to stick it through here, obviously. So I didn't do that, but stick it through here, just like so. Take this, stick it through here, stick it through the cap here. It will go through. There we go. Being a little bit of a bugger there. Take this, positive and negative wires. Stick that on through. There we go. Okay, so you got all your wires through here, right? So you're going to take this, take it in the steering servo, plug it in, take your throttle servo. It's right next to the steering servo part. Let's take that, stick it right in there like so. Sometimes it can be a little bit of a pain because they're a very tight fit, what you want. And then you can take this into auxiliary 2. Yeah, auxiliary 2 or auxiliary 1. So and you can, if you have another Spectrum radio that's a lot more better quality radio, you can do these lights on a switch. So you can have a momentary switch. If you have that, you can have a momentary switch and you can turn the lights on, turn them off. My DX6R radio has momentary switches. If you want to do it, you can set up as much as you want. So that's what I like. You can turn the lights on and off on the fly, which is nice. Yeah, there you go. This is all wired in. Just stick it to the inside of here. Put your gasket on. Stick your wires through like that. Put your gasket on, and then bam. Of course, I gotta clean up these wires just a smidge and stuff like that. So, and then I'll be able to stick this on. See, it sticks on like that. So, yeah, thank you for watching. I'm not gonna worry with all the finishing of the install or anything like that. And thank you for watching. Alex RC Freak Out. And just so you know, kind of where I might stick the antenna is right here. I'll just stick it right there. Actually, I'll probably do it right here and just keep it short. I don't know yet. Actually, yeah, I'll probably do it back here, because if you think about it, if this breaks, this whole control arm setup breaks, pops in, and let's say if something came through and wrecked your antenna, or hit your antenna and damage it in any sort of way, you lose your range. You could lose control of your vehicle. Who knows? So if you put the antenna right back in this area behind you, it got a little bit of, stuff it has to go through before it gets to your antenna, which is kind of nice. These are pretty strong plastic too on the receiver box. So like I say, thank you for watching. Appreciate anyone who likes, comments, subscribes. I love the comments. I try to respond to them all. Good, bad, whatever you want to say, please let me know. And I appreciate it. I really do. So, like I say, sorry for all the weird cuts. Not trying to drag this video on forever. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll do my best to keep them coming for you. Alright, Alex RC Freak Out. Peace.